episode of Sketchtime with PJ. I am PJ, and you can check out my work right here on YouTube or at perfectnoof.deviantart.com. Once again, that's perfectnoof.deviantart.com. So, in episode 2, we were working on a drawing of Talon. So we're finally going to finish this drawing of Talon. And normally I would go right from here into a more tighter pencil stage, but I'm going to go straight to ink from here right now, just to speed things along a little faster. And to finally get this drawing done. So let's grab our pen tool, zoom us in somewhat, and let's get into inking. I did change a few things between the videos, so not a whole lot, but his hand here, I moved it in this way just a little bit, and I shortened this form up right here. It was a little long. That's one thing. The other thing I did was the hat was out like this far. It was way too big, so I just shrunk it down some, and that is it. We're done. So get rid of that. Okay. Now, we're going to zoom in some, and we're going to start throwing some inks down. I just use the default pen with Manga Studio. If you want to know, it's just I think the Maru pen or something along those lines, or the ink pen, or I don't even know what it's called anymore. The G pen, sorry, G pen. That's the one I use. Default settings, haven't changed anything. I did get in and play with the settings at one point, but I just found it wasn't really worth my time to play with those settings. I'm already making a classic mistake. I am inking on the pencil layer. It's a good thing I notice now. Normally I'll get into the drawing. I'll get way into it, like 13, 20 minutes of inking. And then I realize that I go to hide the pencil layer to see how it looks. And then, no, that's what. You will not hide the pencil layer. Because the pencil layer is attached to the ink layer because you're a dummy. So at least I noticed early on. And now we are on the proper layer. Just double check. Yes, excellent. Okay. Now I can start inking. Also change the opacity. It was really hard to see my ink with the pencil all the way up. Another advantage of digital inking is that you can adjust opacity. You can also even make it blue or red or whatever color, but I don't mind working just in gray. I play around sometimes and I do different things, but for the most part, I'll leave it gray. Get inside of that here. A little hint of some hair here, looking pretty good. And like I said in the last video, this is just a piece of banner art that I'm making for the top of my stream. I was thinking of putting on Picardo. Like I was on Picardo for my first 2 streams, and I don't know if I'm going to stay there. I'm streaming now on YouTube, and the other thing about it is you can just stream, and when you're done, it uploads for you. So there's like zero, uploading, no saving, you can edit it on there as well. If you want to edit it, you can do some editing. I haven't played with that very much, and that could be the breaker for me. Maybe if you can't edit it at all, maybe I'll just say, no, enough of this. I'll stream on Picardo, I'll save with OBS, and then I'll edit and upload. The other limitation I noticed that there is with YouTube, and I hope they change it, is that if you're in the chat, you cannot post links. So if you're in the chat and you're trying to post links, I apologize. You can't. Hopefully that's something that they change, that I can allow links posted in my settings or not allow them. But that's okay, that doesn't matter too much for me right now. I don't want to get too much into details right now. I just want to get the basic outline of them done. However, it's fun to get in there and just noodle away and make lots of details and quickly looking stuff. You get that sort of finished feeling to your drawing earlier on. It's more encouraging to keep going. Here I go again, rendering render lines. Not much in the way of an eye there, but this is going to be very small, so I don't want to put too much detail into it either. And at the same time, it's going to go at the top of my page. I also want it to look cool, so I have to add lots of detail. But it's kind of a catch-22. But in the end, it could wind up being a failed drawing. I could hate it, and I could just not put it on my stream at all, on top of my channel at all. Because since the last video, I've actually added a banner to the top of my stream. Oh, it looks like somebody joined the chat. Hello, user. I can't see your name or who you are, but welcome to my stream. Feel free to say hi or type or something in chat. I'll see it. You can ask any questions or whatever else you got from me, I suppose. Or, I mean, the other option you could do is you could sit there quietly and just enjoy the show. That's the problem when you don't do tight pencils. You get inking and you see all these lines and it's a huge mess, and it's like, whoa, what was I thinking? What the hell, man? Is this even really a drawing? Something along those lines. I think that's where I can see where I was going with this now. At least I have the benefit that I was inking my own work. I was able to sort of pick up on what I had in mind there. If I was trying to ink somebody else's work, and they gave me this garbage, like, what the hell? How about you finish the drawing and then give it to me? Just trying to get my wrist at the right angle. It's funny, I got my Surface Pro on my lap. I'm spinning it all around this way and that way. I could just spin the canvas. Much easier. A little bit of that in there. Let's get the final. This thing on my shoulder, this, you know, in the design stage, I was like, well, let's give him some kind of shoulder pad made of some kind of old car tire, some simple treads, and that'll be his sort of his thing. That's great in the design stage. I decided, you know what, I hate drawing this thing over and over from every other angle. It's a pain, really. But I started off with it, and now I'm stuck with it. At least until I get to the point in the store where maybe, you know, Talon can change his clothes for some reason. And then I'm like, yes, I'm free. I'm finally free. It's funny, you can tell when I'm in my deepest moments of concentration. I get all sort of quiet and what? Is he still there? Did my audio crap out? No, I assure you it did not. Well, I suppose I can't assure you. Maybe your audio did crap out, but that's not why it was quiet. It was quiet because I stopped talking. Or I should say I stopped rambling, because that's more or less what I'm doing here. However, if you like it, that's cool. Some of those wrinkles I got in here. Yeah, wrinkles are really just a lot of squiggly lines. Nothing too complicated. Fairly simple to just throw some little loops and lines in there. As long as it's going to an anchor point, it doesn't look half bad. I suppose that's debatable too. Whether or not it looks half bad. That's not right. This comes on top here. Underneath. Gonna come back a second, see how it looks. Yeah, I can't really say I'm incredibly happy with that. But I'll keep chugging along with it and see where it gets. I'm going to check too my pen size. It does seem pretty big. 23, 29. That's a little better. Well, I can't fix this eye. The top lid goes darker. More or less like this. I'm just going to have people. And a couple of highlights. Not that big. What a mess over here, huh? So the eye, that's a little high actually. Just lob them down a little lower. And then we'll do it in there for now. I'll work with that later on. There's a bit better. Oh, straight lines, eh? Straight lines. Why can't everything be crooked and narrowed? Just to make life easier for artists, nothing should be made with straight lines. Buildings, no, crooked lines. Or, I suppose I could just learn how to draw straight lines, practice a little more. Or use the ruler tool, heaven forbid. Although I was trying to play with that last night, the ruler tool, and yeah, I was getting a little frustrated with it. The circle ruler. Maybe somebody knows how you actually move your circle. You use your ruler tool, you make your circle, and then your circle doesn't move. And it's kind of like, well, what the hell? I mean, there's going to be a way to move the circle. There's a couple of forearm muscles in here. Nothing fancy, not super ripped. But there's like a hint of some muscles along here. Getting in front of his glove. Again, there's a few wrinkles up along here. Don't want to get too heavy on the rendering just yet. I'm gonna wait until I get a lot of the lines sort of down, and then figure out how heavy I'm going to go with rendering. Let's see how much time I have left. If I can even finish this in a half an hour, I don't know, 20 minutes already? So knuckle here. And I'll say too, the reason I'm inking so close like this is because I'm on the Surface Pro 3. It's a decent sized screen, it's 13 inches, but it's really slick and made of glass. So as soon as you touch with the pen, it'll slide just a little bit. It gives you like a crooked line. And I found the only way to overcome that is just to zoom way the hell in like I'm doing now. So I guess it's a limitation of digital with this medium. Supposing it's not so bad on a Cintiq, I guess. But I don't own a Cintiq, so I can't say for certain. Actually, I'll throw it out there for any of you Cintiq users. I've heard that the surface of that is a little more grip to it, so you don't have this sort of sliding effect or problem that I'm having on the Surface Pro. It sort of leads me to really wanting to lock my wrist and tighten up when inking, as opposed to keeping it sort of loose and flowing. So that's kind of an issue. However, I will say, in general, the Surface Pro, or the Surface Pro 3, is amazing. It's not without its issues, but why I love this tool. I'm just gonna fix this again here. One of the issues, actually, I'll talk about that. The pen. I mean, there's 3 buttons on this pen. There's a top button, which you can double click twice and it brings up OneNote. I mean, do people even use OneNote? I don't know. But I'm certainly not sure with my design, or just in mine. And there's 2 small buttons. One of them is the eraser, which is you hold down with the eraser tool. It's not bad. I use it a lot because it's there. But that could easily be like an undo button, or a swap colors button, or something else. Here's the other button, which is your color picker tool. Which color picker, if I'm doing painting and stuff, sure, that's probably great. But I'm doing black and white drawings. I don't need a color picker tool. What I need is, like I said, an undo button, or a swap black and white tool, or a select tool, or being able to just bind it to what I want to use for this particular drawing even would be nice. But instead, I don't have that. So with the pen, it would be very nice if I could just map those buttons to whatever I wanted, I guess. Again, it doesn't make me regret buying the Surface Pro, but it's an issue that I hope they someday fix. And I haven't looked at it in a while either. Maybe they fixed it since I've stopped looking to see if they're gonna fix it. Or as far as some kind of third-party program I can install to let me map those buttons to whatever I want, but I haven't looked since I first bought my Surface Pro, which is quite a while ago. Now they have Surface Pro 4. I don't know if that's even any better or worse. If anybody watching has Surface Pro 4, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of it. Have you compared the two? What have you heard? What's the rumors? Fill me in. Or, I could just Google it myself, I suppose, but I'm kind of hoping someone leaves me a comment. So this is duct tape, and I fully realize that you would not duct tape a scope to a hunting rifle and expect any kind of accuracy. However, Talon's a really good shot, and he's adjusted really well to his duct tape down scope. So he's able to, snipe with this thing, duct tape and all. He's just that good. Or maybe there's some real hardware under there holding it on, and the duct tape is just sort of to, protect that real hardware. I don't know. Something, whatever. I don't think it's too important. I just wanted it to look a little bit run down, worn, and not like a perfect tool. I also realized that the scope is probably pretty budget. Like if you're going to go to a hunting store and buy a scope, you probably wouldn't look on the shelf and say, I want that one that looks like a toilet paper roll with a lens in it. But again, in this time, the tools available are limited. So this could be something that was just sort of pieced together, homemade, or bought from a salvage dealer, or something along those lines. It's not necessarily a professional scope of our time. No, sir. Not straight. Let's see how it looks. It's coming along, slowly and surely. Yeah, those lines that are starting off with, they are some thick and gross. I may have to fix those. I might have to break down and use a ruler. Yeah, I think that'll work. Tools, not those. Yes, excellent. Okay. About to roll it off now. You have the task of lining everything up. Okay. I don't know what kind of rifle this is. You know, I did go online. My first design Talon. And Google searched some rifles. I think I was sort of just pieced a few together that look decent to make this. So, I mean, any of you hunters out there or rifle buffs are getting crap for having an inaccurate rifle, you know, go right ahead, it's cool. I think I have issues when I hold the erase button down too long. It seems to like not register after a while. I'm not really sure what it's all about. You know, there could be some kind of fight up here. I think that works. Except it's not exactly straight, is it? And that's what I was talking about earlier. The advantage of going digital is now that I've done this, take it, I can rotate it, not that much, move it around, sorry about that, guys. Now it should look a lot better. I don't have the guides too. We don't need those. Excellent. Well, we're at 35 minutes. I'm gonna finish the line work in his other arm and his body, and we'll do the shadowing and rendering in the next video. So just a few more minutes here. I'm going to try and get more of this done. I've been a little slow. Let's see if I can't pick up the pace here a little bit in some of this stuff. But just like to get noodling, hey? Get my... I'm a right-hander because I always tilt it that way and draw, up. I think left-handers will tilt it the other way. Some more duct tape down here. And I think that's just going to be the end of somewhere in there, but this will be all in shadow. There we go. I know I said I was going to do shadow in the next video, and I am, but I know that's going to be in shadow, so why give myself the headache of trying to figure out what's in there. Too curved. Alright. Down here. It's part of his jacket. Those wrinkles down here. More wrinkles, 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 and more wrinkles. That's the name of the game. That can go like this. As you can see, I'm ignoring some of the lines I've got here because I realized that they were just plain wrong. So, again, this is not really the stage I should be making changes. At this point, everything should be down instead of type pencils, and it should just be a matter of tracing over lines and then adding some line weights, some good rendering and shadow, and then wham bam, you're done. However, I'm making a lot of changes, or any of a lot, so I'm making changes, and it's costing me time. And as they say, time is money. So I want to get better and faster. I need to get a consistent process down. I need to stick to it. And again, more lines, folds, and wrinkles. And I could add lines all day. More and more and more lines, and just make it wrinklier, yeah, tongue-tied. Wrinklier and wrinklier. But I think that serves the purposes for now. Works for me. I did notice I missed something over here. That other little part of his cuff. And then his forearm comes right into there. I think there's a button on one of these too, which is unbuttoned. So you can probably see up in that. Again, adding things during the inking stage is not really ideal. That button's messed up, but I'll leave it for now. Make that a little thicker. Not too much rendering just yet, but a few little hints of some forearm muscle. What's going on here? So this will work for the glove. I seem to have had a good handle on the hand, or a decent handle. I do know that I've rigged with it for a long time in the last few videos. However, I will say I think after all that messing around, I did get an acceptable result, but not exactly perfect. I don't need those. He's wearing a glove. Maybe a few wrinkles instead. I was going to start drawing on the knuckle lines and all that stuff. Have it, I suppose. The other beautiful thing about digital, just erase that. Some of these gloves are, the lines are all messed up. I may have to take a second look at them. But sometimes you can get away with stuff. Like it's a little bit messed up, but you know, once you get everything done, it actually kind of looks decent. So, you know, you don't really need to spend too much time fixing something no one's gonna really see. Except maybe if you guys should watch the video and see me point out that this was wrong and that was wrong. I do suppose I could just not point out this and that is wrong, and then only some of you will pick up on it. But I don't mind, that's cool. You know what, if somebody watches me and learns something, that's really cool. So, if somebody watches me and tells me my work is shit for, you know, X and such and such a reason, and I need to fix this, and I learn something, that's also cool. It's not about egos. Well, not for me. Some people it is, but not for me. So, are they marking his jacket here? Wear marks. I'm about to wrap up this video here in just a few minutes. I don't think there's going to be much in the way back here. I think, for the most part, the back won't be seen. Probably heavy shadow, because he's got a weird arch in his back the way I'm drawing right now. Because when I started this, I wasn't sure if I was going to have him standing or in prone or what. I just kind of started sketching and I figured, hey, let's see where it goes. And started off like it was coming out okay, and I kept going with it. Let's see, he's got some chest muscles. The middle of his chest is somewhere in, what, shoulder, right around here. At least I hope so, because that's where I have the opening, so. And this won't all be seen in the end, but I'll put it there for now. It'll help me do the inking. I'll probably fill it all in black and then touch some of those lines in white. Bit of a highlight or whatever. But to start with them in black, that sort of helps me. And let's get rid of this for a second. Let's come back out. That's the just the lines, no serious line weights, no shadows in the rendering, or really limited rendering. I can come in the next video and I will render this out, nice render lines, some grit and dirt looking, and some shadows, and it should look half decent. And I'll have a piece of banner art that, you know, might look good at the top of my page. So, thank you for watching, and once again, I'm PJ. You can find my work either here on YouTube or on my webpage. Here it is again, DeviantArt. So it's perfectnew at .deviantart.com. And thanks for watching.